There's a place, a school, an institution where a professor resides. One that for the past 30 years has traveled the world teaching others. A pioneer in America of the fighting science of Savate. One who codified the sports of this fighting style. One who has produced clubs, champions, and continues to develop. Listen to words of Professeur Buitron. Come train at the best-kept secret of Laredo. Buitron Academy, 956-401-4868. Savate.biz.
I hope everybody's doing well. This question and answer is going to be a good one because we're talking about a weapon of dancer Savate, of book francais. It's been around for a while, and it was taught basically by Maître Maurice Sadi, and it's called the Foue. And it was passed on from Sadi to Jean-Paul Viviani to myself. Of course, my father also uses it, and it's kept as the weapon of a silver glove, and it's called the Foue. It's a nice little thing about this big, and we're going to be touching base on it because it develops a lot of stuff. As you know, number one, we had Thanksgiving weekend this past week. I hope everybody was well. I hope everybody had a peaceful holiday season with lots of love. Listen, this is a season to be happy. Our country's being shot around. It's not doing its best in the economy. A lot of people are hurting. But within the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a lot of holidays. And so we should embrace everybody with peace and love and try to understand that not everybody's doing well. And try to embrace that, smile at everybody, be caring. That's what the season's about. And be caring to others. And try to understand others, so also other cultures, if you have friends that are from other countries, try to partake with them, try to experience the foods and vice versa. Because that's what America's all about. It's about a melting pot. And that melting pot happens in fighting systems as well, you know, and especially in Dance Rue Savate, where the different French martial arts melted together into a progressive system of the way it was before. And what I say before was before the mixture of the two federations, okay? Everybody taught Khan, everybody taught Baton. You learned it as you progressed up, as you became a professor, and you were accepted into Lutte Parisienne, you were accepted into that little ring, if you were accepted to become go underneath Savate realm with Roger Lafon, you learn La Panache, which is an excellent system. All those things came together. You know, you learned there's so many differences in there. And people say, what I'm talking about today, the fouet, the whip, they say, it doesn't exist. Really, it doesn't exist. Let me tell you something. There was a whip, there was an axe, there was a glaive, there was a flue, there was a fourchette, which is a war fork, okay, Parisienne, of course, baton, and of course, my favorite out of all of them is the Bic de Corbon. All these weapons were taught by Maurice Sadi. He used to teach those weapons. And he used to teach his students. Some of his students, he'll teach all of them. Some of them he'll teach certain ones. He was very selective about that process. But he was very much enriched into the old ways of teaching and what was being lost. A lot of things were lost when the merging of two federations came. And of course, their main concern was the sport. But remember the federation's name. Fédération Française de Boxe Française Savate et Discipline Associée, meaning the French Federation of Boxe Française Savate and associated disciplines. Lutte was in there. Okay? All the different pole arms were in there. What happened was that the sports became the money giver. And when it becomes a money giver, you're getting federal grants, you're getting paid. Guess what? The president, the vice president, all the secretaries that work inside the French Federation, the national trainer, those people are getting paid money. They have a stipend. That's their job. Okay, without that, that's going to happen. So they kind of monopolized on what was supposed to be taught, which was for the sport, and other disciplines were just pushed to the side. Okay, but nonetheless, I was privy to have been a student and foreign professor under Jean-Paul Viviani, and I became a professor of both Lacan and Buitron. And I did meet Maurice before he died, and he was a very excellent man. I met him when he was in his hard times. He was ill, but there's photographs of him with the fourchette, with the whip, and so on and so forth. So we would practice those weapons. Those weapons we practiced. Myself, Jean-Paul Viviani would teach us how to use it. Professor Big Blue, Andre Germain, Professor Michel Gilbert was excellent at those weapons. We used to train with them. There were others that would come and partake, because you remember Professor Viviani taught at Paris University, Lacan. Some of those players would come over and partake in some of the other pole arms, and it just went on and on. How did they get involved in Danseuse Savate? Those other pole arms, you start off with nothing, right? At Blue Glove, you just learn the kick punch, boxing savate. You start learning the fundamentals. In Green, you start learning the fundamentals of Can. In Red Glove, you start learning the fundamentals of double Can. Okay? In White, you start learning some of the basic knives, because there are certain knives that we use in Danseuse Savate, the straight razor, or some of the other ones that are around. A long blade, like a bowie, a short dagger as well. You start learning those techniques in red, white, okay? In yellow, you learn bâton, and in silver, you learn the fouet. The fouet has several techniques for the test, but it has 18 techniques throughout the system that you play with, that you understand with. It's a different feel. In coach, you learn the Foue. In initiador, you learn the fourchette. Aide monitor, you learn the parisien. Monitor, you learn the glove. And in professor, you learn the bic de corbon. And the bic de corbon for me is the ultimate out of the weapons, because it's a weapon of melee. It's a weapon that can do a lot of destruction in a very short period of time. When I asked Matt Sari, why those weapons, he said it's because of the way bâton is held, which is held double hand forward. Okay, a lot of people now are coming in with some journals that were from Jointville that you should teach them this way, but this type of movement came from the lance. Okay, some weapons, the halberd comes from this movement. The big axe comes from this movement. The maul comes from this movement. Understand? Which is overlapping. Well, anyway, going back to the fouet. Each weapon teaches you a certain thing, but the fouet teaches you speed and how to control it. How to be relaxed and give it with speed. How to be able to control that. Everything in Savate, and if you train Savate and you train it digitally, you're going to learn that there's one key, and that key is the pivot. You have to know the pivot. If you do not understand the pivot, you don't do the pivot, you will never really fulfill yourself in Savate by growing, because the pivot's not going to be there. Okay? Your fouettes will look like round kicks and tie kicks. You need to pivot, and the pivot is specific. Learn it in blue, and in green it's reinforced. And then it's reinforced again in the distances in white. Then in silver glove it's reinforced again, and especially with the fouet. The fouet is what teaches you how to pivot, how to control the pivot, how to control your body, your weight, and extension as well as that. And it is a fun weapon to train in. It is a weapon that you have to be very, very careful with. You don't teach this weapon to beginners that do not have the ability, and people can get hurt. So you teach it to folks that have been around for a while, that understand and respect it. So again, the Foue, the whip, is a weapon of Dancer Savate. It has been a weapon of professors of Savate in general. It existed. Whether your professor used it or not, it's because the time frame where he learned it and where was he at. Not all professors learned Gan. Not all professors of Gan learned Baton. Not all the professors of Baton learned the remainder of the arts of the pole arms and the other weapons. So understand that, before folks go out there and say, oh, this was made up. It's not made up. So with that being said, keep asking questions. Please join, if you really want to learn, join our crew at Buy Me a Coffee at Buitrón Academy. You'll get updates, you'll get new videos that they're not on the YouTube channel. You're going to get videos of basic enchantments and reposts, intermediate enchantment reposts, advanced enchantment reposts, basics with Gan. It's just a whole new process that's going on in there. And believe me, we're going to be doing plenty of that work. And in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be filling up with basic Gan and intermediate Gan as well for that, because people are growing. Remember, you want to learn, buy me a coffee at Buitrón Academy and join the crew. Start learning the basics if you really want to. I'm going to leave you with this note. You all stay safe, be peaceful. We have much to do ahead, and always be nice to others. Till next time, much peace.